is a holy second breath. The first was birth, breathe. The third is left.
And so you're seeing so many of the prayers inspired by Mary, the mother of Mary Lou, Quinlan's mom. You know, I still have my job, I'm praying for a baby, and writing these notes like this. First of all, it's book 2 to just publish all the wonderful reactions that you've gotten, but it seems like such a healing process for people.
I think it is. I think a lot of us carry hurt inside us, or loss, or burdens, and the idea of writing it out is so therapeutic, and so many will write to me, really, the stories like, my mother was like yours, or I lost my mom, or does it get any easier? I mean, they ask really personal questions because they're exploring, and I think the God Box is a place where you can be safe, you know, where your private thoughts can be expressed to God and ideally resolved in your heart.
And you had told me at one point that you worried that the book would be sort of all about you or all about your mom. And
it's so not. It's all about everybody else's mom. That's what I found out. Because their first reaction is, oh, like, you know, my mom is just like her, and she did this and she did that. So it brings back all of these memories for people. I love that. My mom would love that. She's all about everybody else.
Oh, that's so, and just you can tell by her prayers, and when she said, every time you inhale a worry and you exhale a prayer. I mean, that could be, you know, a card or a magnet on the refrigerator, right?
Yeah, it was as natural as breathing for her. It was very simple, her relationship with God, her faith, and she didn't, you know, make it hard to be in the box. Everybody in the box, and there were little babies that I never met, grandchildren, you know, or a neighbor who had a bad day, or someone she just met randomly who was going in for surgery. One, she had, please help Leo with his driver's test. Like, Leo was 90. You know, God love her. She was just everybody in the box.
Oh, that's so neat. You had a funny one in your mom's box?
Well, these just everyone reminds me of her, of course, and they're always on some kind of crazy stationery. And this one, she's asking God to help solve an insurance problem for us with the Mazda. Let them know it was caused by towing. Love, Mary. You know, it's like, go call State Farm, God, and figure this out for me, would you? But that's the way she was, just natural, like a pen pal.
And see, the interesting thing about your mom, Mary, and I'm going to introduce you to my mom, Rosemary, is that my mom always says pray for very specific things. So about the Mazda, that would be my mom. And we have my mom, Rosemary Dawn Stensland, thus the name Dawn, on the phone. Hi, Mom, on the phone from Florida. Can we hear you okay?
Oh, everything is wonderful. Oh, especially when I can be part of your life from so far away.
Well, I know that you love Mary Lou's book, and you just read it. Did you have a question for Mary Lou about the book, or you know, your reaction to her book?
You know, I can't really think of a question, Dawn, but I really, when I read the book, when I read the part of how her mom, I think it's on page 32, where she spoke about how her mom prayed with her every night, and that is just such a wonderful gift.
Yeah, we used to go upstairs, and I can remember, and Mom would write down on our knees at the bed, you know, with our little kid prayers, and list everybody one by one. And my favorite part, and I don't know if you did this, Rosemary, with Dawn, but I would get into bed, and Dad would snug me in, as he called it, like tuck in the blanket, and then Mom would pat my eyes to sleep. That's how she put me to sleep, just slowly, slowly. It was the most calming, happy time.
Oh, well, I have a little surprise for my mom, because something you don't know is that I, for years, have had, usually I keep them in these faux little books in my own little boxes. I never thought of them as God boxes or faith boxes. I just stuck them in there. But I have saved over the years every letter that my mom, and Mom is a prolific letter and card writer. So Mom, you don't know this, but I've saved every card, every little note, every email I've printed. There's my mom and I when we were, well, this was 2 years ago. No, I'm kidding. This was you know.
You're like twins.
We are. My mom's a really young mom, so everybody always thought we were sisters. But one thing that Mom, you don't know is that every time you've written letters to the boys, to Michael and David, there's a more recent picture. I always say Mom defected from brunetteism to blondism. But one thing you don't know, Mom, is that over the years when you sent letters to the boys, I did not open them because Michael's now 8, David's 6, and I thought we would have a special time when I would surprise you and say, here are the letters me, Mom, and Papa wrote you over the years, and just surprise you with that. You think that's a good idea?
Oh, that's a wonderful idea. Yes. But are you saying you didn't open them?
I'm saying the ones to the boys, like David's one in September, his second birthday. That's a card to David. I never opened it. So these are unopened little letters to the boys. Just
oh my goodness!
As little surprises. So I've kept them all these years. But one I wrote when I was in labor with Michael, and you're saying I pray for little Michael that God holds him in his loving hands. But then you go on to have a little journal where I'm in labor, by the way, 22 hours, and you say, God, help her not be so grumpy. I'm like, grumpy? I found this journal that you left. I'm like, grumpy? I was in labor.
I'll show you grumpy.
Give me some drugs here.
Oh dear. Oh,
I'm kidding.
No, I can't imagine writing that you were grumpy when you were in labor. I had a few of those too.
Yeah, she had 3 of them. But it's so neat, Mom, the connection, and I'm so glad that my mom can connect with you, because I just think it's that mother-daughter friendship bond connection of really what it is, sharing spirituality, but also healing and coping in life.
Yeah, you know, I say that some people say, oh my gosh, I'm starting to become my mother, and it's not, you know, they don't enjoy it. And I love that I'm becoming my mother, and I can tell that you feel the same way. There's just such, you can feel it in your voice, Rosemary, how you adore her, and in her eyes I see the same back, and that's a bond that never breaks.
Yeah. But you know what, your mother, Mary, she really received a gift from God, because she had an intuition to know when people needed to ask for her to intercede for them in prayer.
You're right. You know, she did have that sense, like a sixth sense almost, that you can just see when someone's hurt. And she wasn't afraid to walk right up to somebody to say, you need a friend, don't you? And they would just fall apart, as you can imagine.
That's a beautiful connection.
That's wonderful.
Oh, well, Mom, I love you. It's great talking. I'll call you later.
Okay.
Bye, Rosemary.
Nice, Mary Lou. Bye-bye now.
Because we got to move on. When we return, we're going to switch it up a little bit. Amazing advice from Mary Lou on finding a life-changing job. What does she mean by that? Don't go away.